Coming up on this edition of Falmouth in Focus, we follow Representative David Vieira to the State House for a behind-the-scenes look at how your state government works. Meet the officers supporting families facing childhood cancer through the Cops for Kids with Cancer program. Celebrate Falmouth Citizen of the Year, Kathy Walrath, for her dedication to preserving Nobska Light. And head to the Cape Cod Canal for a massive cleanup effort led by AmeriCorps. All that and more right now on Falmouth in Focus. Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, our roundup of local events and FCTV member engagement in the community. I'm Eileen Preston. We begin this episode with a trip to Beacon Hill. I had the opportunity to join Representative David Vieira for a day at the State House, where he welcomed high-achieving students from around the state. It was a great chance for all of us to peek under the hood of the legislative agenda.
There are award recipients from the district. I haven't seen who actually was able to get up here yet today, so we'll try to identify them. Is it? There was quite a few in there?
Huge amount of people, yeah.
Good. I love it when a plan comes together. All right, welcome, DAR good citizens. If we can kind of hover over here, we're going to begin. The House is in session today with the state budget. So we are going to begin in the gallery of the House chamber as we open up the session for today's budget negotiations.
All rise. Members and guests are asked to remain standing and join the DAR Good Citizens students in pledging allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
The third floor is the House chamber, the Senate chamber, and the governor's office. So that's the seat of power is on the third floor. Welcome to the Senate. When you're driving around the Commonwealth and you see a sign and it says so many miles to Boston, it's to that chandelier. It's considered the center of the city of Boston here at the top of Beacon Hill. If you look at the packets, the Senate still has these printed dockets, and they're tied up with a little red ribbon, right? You've heard the term cutting through the red tape. It's bureaucratic. We have to cut through the red tape. Anybody have an idea where that comes from? So when Parliament was created in England, the monarch still had the ability to veto legislation of the Parliament. And so at the end of a vote in Parliament, the legislation was engrossed on parchment, rolled up, tied with the red ribbon, and brought to the monarch for review. And so the red tape harkens back to the days of the English Parliament.
A step, okay? So every other step.
Everybody say Massachusetts!
So I mentioned earlier that Representative Sylvia, who I just found out this morning is a Good Citizen Award recipient as well. He was my college class president at the American University in DC. And so we were in student government together, and he appointed me to the judicial board, and now we're actually in the real government together.
We need more young people like you to get involved. It's really important, especially today.
So there are 351 flags up here, set in order of incorporation, and for years, they've just been up there. In my district, the town of Mashpee redesigned the town seal recently, and we have a new flag that's on order, and we'll be working with the town of Mashpee to have a little ceremony in here, and for the first time in years, we'll actually take a flag down and put the new municipal flag up. This is George Washington, much different than the bust we saw in the Senate, right? Anybody know why he's dressed in a cloak? So he is being portrayed in the toga, and specifically for the Roman Emperor Cincinnatus. So in the United States, there's a Society of the Cincinnati. You are all members of the Daughters of the American Revolution. So members of the Daughters of the American Revolution have to show a lineage to the colonial period, right? The Society of the Cincinnati, you have to show lineage to an officer of the Continental Army during the Revolution, and that's the Society of the Cincinnatus. And so when they decided to cast this commission, they wanted to show Washington as the farmer, citizen, president, right, and soldier. He came, he served as the general, then he served as the first president of the United States, and he decided to go back to the farm in Virginia and go back into private life and not to continue in public service, continue to control. No, I'm done, I did my service, I'm out.
And we're going to be releasing the entire On the Road with David Vieira episode of Our Day on Beacon Hill soon on FCTV's government channel. Keep your eyes on fctv.org for details. Our next story highlights a program supporting families facing childhood cancer. During a recent visit to Falmouth, officers involved with Cops for Kids with Cancer shared their mission and how they're making a difference for families during very difficult times.
So again, my name is Jeffrey Lurie, temporary caretaker of the Falmouth Police Department. This event came about tonight. These two fine officers, it's a great organization, Cops for Kids with Cancer. Jake is a cancer survivor, was a beneficiary of this organization, and it really was their idea with the entire department supporting them. So I can't give them, enough praise how proud I am of them and how awesome tonight is.
It might have been November, December. I broke my work rule and I actually let Jake be my Facebook friend. I'm very big on separating work and personal life, and I was like, all right, he's a good kid, I'll let him. And I actually saw his mom had been posting on Facebook.
She Facebook stalked me.
Yeah, I Facebook stalk. Well, when you accept someone as a Facebook friend, naturally you have to Facebook stalk them. So I did, and I found his mom had been posting that they were recipients of Cops for Kids with Cancer. And I had known that Jake had pediatric cancer, I just didn't know they were recipients. And his mother had been trying to raise money to make everything that they were given and then some for Cops for Kids with Cancer. And I said, Jake, it was probably 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I texted Jake and I'm like, hey, we should do a fundraiser for Cops for Kids with Cancer. And I texted him a bunch of ideas, and I was trying to make the easy way out, and I was like, donut eating contest, just super simple things. And he chose a gala, so here we are, and I'll pass it off to Jake. So why we're having a gala?
So I kind of chose a gala because we hadn't done anything like that before. And, I mean, everybody likes to dress up every now and again, so break out the suits and spend some money. Why not? This event's massively important to me. Being a recipient of the program myself, being able to give back to the program is awesome. I was actually fortunate enough, Lucas, I was able to give him his check and be part of that. So it's kind of a full circle moment for me. So it's just awesome.
Prior to the event starting, with ticket sales and donations just on the website, we were at about 9,000, probably closer to 10,000. I honestly, since we've been here, I don't know. I know it's probably pretty high, so we'll see where we're at.
For 20.
Yeah, we're shooting for 20, but I can guarantee we'll at least be at 10. But it's been, I think the cash has been flowing. I looked at, I can tell how much we have on like credit card stuff, but the cash we got to count at the end.
So there's a lot of benefits like this. I know they do a really great event in Marshfield. They're always taking donations if you go on their website, and just generally bringing awareness to the program, making people aware of it, especially pediatric cancer families that are unaware of the program, draw their attention to it so they can receive support.
We're grateful for programs like this and the officers who help make them happen. Each year, the Falmouth Chamber of Commerce honors a local resident who has gone above and beyond in service to the town. And this year, that honor went to Kathy Walrath, whose dedication to the Friends of Nobska Light and years of volunteerism made her a standout choice.
I am deeply honored to be the 2025 Citizen of the Year, and so grateful that my family, my friends, and the volunteers I work with are here with me tonight. This recognition is not just a testament to my work, but it's a testament to the collective spirit of our Falmouth community that believes in the power of giving back. I look around and see so many of you who give so much time and support so many different organizations here in Falmouth and across the Cape. As I admire you, and as a child, I admired people like you who gave their time. Reflecting now, I realize that these people were in fact my volunteer mentors. They demonstrated to me what it means to be part of a community and taught me to raise my hand, not low, but raise my hand high, jump in with 2 feet. I am not going to jump. And when you find something that you're passionate about, and just do it. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to everyone who has supported me along this journey, to my husband, Tom, who joins me on committees, engages others in our mission, and sometimes just helps me hang up signs or plant some plants up there. And my fellow volunteers, committee members, grant writers, board members, docents and staff. All of you make magic happen. Your encouragement and dedication have been invaluable. Together, we have made wonderful things happen that I know reach far beyond what we can see. This award is a reminder that our efforts do not go unnoticed, and sometimes even lead to remarkable outcomes. And remember just a few minutes ago, when we talked about that application for that deed for Friends of Napscalite? Well, yesterday, I received notification from the Secretary of the Interior that Napsca Lighthouse Station will be transferred to the Friends of Napscalite. I did not do this alone. You know it. This table knows it. That table knows it. Everybody knows it. Our state representatives, our senators, our town of Falmouth, everybody supported our application, and the deed will come to us. We did it. We saved our lighthouse. It is ours to keep, it is ours to treasure, and it is ours to pass on to the future generations. Thank you once again for this incredible honor. Let us continue to work together, uplift each other, and make a difference in our community. Thank you.
Congratulations again to Kathy Walrath, and thank you for all your hard work in town. Still ahead, a massive community cleanup, a major funding boost for AmeriCorps, and some new life for one of our most scenic bike trails. Stay with us.
Hello, and thank you for being here. My name is Lynn Shad, and I'm a proud member of the Falmouth Climate Action Network, or as we like to call her, FalCAN. We are Falmouth's local climate advocacy group, founded in 2019 by a group of residents deeply concerned about the challenges climate change poses to our coastal community. Our mission is to initiate and collaborate on community actions to address the climate emergency through education, sharing best practices, and advocating for impactful policies. We've hosted webinars, workshops, book discussions, climate film screenings, and climate conversations on FCTV. We also advocate for strategic action at the town level. In 2020, we supported the successful passage of the Climate Emergency Declaration at town meeting. In 2022, we secured a warrant at town meeting to hire a sustainability coordinator. The town filled that position in 2024 with Stephanie Madsen, who has already brought significant grant funding to Falmouth, enabling new measures to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The climate crisis poses a direct threat to the economic engine of our town. Rising sea level, more frequent and intense storms, and eroding beaches are already impacting us. As a community so dependent on its coastline and natural beauty, we must act now to slow down these harmful effects and reduce emissions. According to the Cape Cod Commission's Climate Action Plan, approximately 95% of emissions on the Cape come from transportation and the built environment. Our homes, businesses, municipal buildings, cars, buses, and ferries. Thankfully, the technology to address these issues is already available. Renewable energy sources such as municipal and residential solar, electric and hybrid vehicles, residential heat pumps, induction stoves, and more. At FalCan, we are turning the Climate Emergency Declaration into a living, actionable framework for change. We support our town leaders to implement strategic measures for greater resiliency and sustainability. Each of us can be a good and thoughtful steward of Falmouth by reducing our emissions and creating a more sustainable future for our community. Join us, won't you? You can start by reaching out to us over email at falmouthcan@gmail.com. Thank you.
Welcome back. Volunteers recently came together for a large-scale cleanup of the Cape Cod Canal. The effort was organized by AmeriCorps Cape Cod, whose members have continued serving the community despite the recent loss of federal funding. Thanks to swift action by Barnstable County, this year's program will continue through the end of its term.
Yeah, so this is the annual canal cleanup. It's planned with AmeriCorps and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and we're just cleaning up the canal. We're picking up trash.
This is the 24th year we've done so with AmeriCorps Cape Cod to host an annual canal cleanup. We have almost 200 volunteers here today from throughout the region, really, to help beautify this area, to clean up trash all the way from Scusset Beach down towards the railroad bridge. We also are very lucky today to have many local nonprofit organizations here to provide educational, fun activities.
It's been really good. It's been really windy, but we've had a lot of people. We actually had a record amount of pre-registrations this year, which is really exciting. But yeah, everyone's been having a lot of fun.
So all the trash that we're picking up today, it's unsightly. So that's of course a good reason to pick that up. But more importantly, it can have a lot of negative impacts on local wildlife. It can also have safety impacts on our visitors. So when we talk about local impacts to wildlife, we've been finding fishing line, for instance, in the rocks and other plastics that are left behind that could break down and then become part of the food system itself. The fishing line leads towards entanglement, which is also an issue. And then for safety, we've even found needles today, and that's something that could be very unsafe if a family were to come across those.
I think it's really easy to forget that the trash that we get rid of goes somewhere, and a lot of times it ends up in places we don't want it to be. So it's really important to be able to sort of connect with the community about where that trash is and what we should remember that it still exists after we get rid of it.
We are so grateful for our partnership with AmeriCorps Cape Cod for helping to make this a reality year after year, and we're so grateful for all of our volunteers and supporters today.
A big thank you to all who participated and to AmeriCorps Cape Cod for their continued commitment to our region. The full length of the Shining Sea Bikeway is open once again. Local groups and community leaders gathered at the bus depot recently to celebrate and to look at plans for a future vision of the depot trail area.
As a select board member, I was invited to be here, and I'm proud to be here, but I'm also here as someone who I would say loves to ride on the path, loves to run and enjoy the path, doesn't do it nearly enough, and so this was a great excuse to get out on a truly gorgeous day.
People really missed it, even over the winter. There are a surprising number of people who commute.
I think it's a great event, and what a great job they did.
No bumps, beautiful smooth pavement, and it's a little bit wider. For 6 months I commute to work on the bike path. So I am beyond excited that this last part is now open again and repaved, and everyone is so excited about it. And I can't wait. I'm going to start biking to work this week.
It's very special, both as a safety, aspect for the motoring public, where now you have less bicycles and pedestrian traffic on the road. As you know, we occasionally do have pedestrian and bicycle accidents. So, yeah, this is it's a win-win.
Summertime, we could have up to, I think there's about 10 to 20 of us qualified for bike patrol. We have 2 of the e-bikes and about 7 or 8 regular mountain bikes. We'll start at Old Silver in the morning, then we'll do the bike path in the afternoon. If you get this bike, it's a good duty. So if you get the other bikes, not so much, but this is definitely high competition for this one. This is your pedal assist bike. It's you can pedal it / it has a motor, and it goes extremely fast, and it's less work. On the trip today, I had it doing 20 on a straightaway, and that wasn't even going pedaling hard.
So the Duck Bank kind of comes off of where you see at the end of the steamship property there, and comes right through here. But the under one of the original designs, our expectation was that we were going to kind of have to destroy this area out here. We knew that the EDIC used it as a place for people to sit. We're here during the summertime. We saw it. So the idea was, let's work with them to create an environment that hosts bikes, walkers, a place where people could sit, because we're going to have to restore it anyhow.
The timing was very good in the sense that we've now got an opportunity. We've worked with a local Falmouth resident at Janik Studios, Angela Tanner, to put the plan together. And it's really a nice combination of hardscape and landscape that we think is going to, as Phil said, is going to be very welcoming to not only the people that are using the bike path, but also the people that are here at the train station catching the bus.
I have been a bike commuter in one way or another since 1975. I had to take a detour, not the one that they told us to take, but a detour through town, yeah. And that was very inconvenient. It was often colder and more dangerous. So I'm really glad it's over, finally. And I hope they never do it again, at least not while I'm alive.
While it's great fun to bike on the Shining Sea Trail, what we really noticed during the closure is how useful the trail is to all of us as a commuting method into town and towards Woods Hole. And speaking of being on the move, teams participating in Ruck for Hit pushed through fatigue and long miles to raise awareness and funds for veterans. Here's more on this unique event.
Heroes in Transition started in 2009. Cindy and Ken Jones decided to turn the tragedy of losing their son, Captain Eric Jones, in a combat mission in Afghanistan. They turned that tragedy into an organization, a 501c3, that would continue Eric's mission of supporting the troops on the ground. And the way that we're able to do that is by offering 15 unique programs for virtually every member of the military family. So we feel strongly that when one member of the family serves, the entire family serves. So something that makes us a little bit different than from some other organizations is we have programs and events for veterans, but also for those currently serving, as well as their spouses, their partners. We have couples programs, and then we also have a very large families in transition aspect of Heroes in Transition, where the entire family is invited.
So actually it was myself and Nicole Spencer who started this event originally in 2014 or whatever it was. So I did the first year from New York City to Cape Cod, which was amazing and unique experience. And since that time, they've really groomed it to what it's become today. And now it's just an unreal experience. So I've probably done it 4 times over the past 10 years or so.
So to see and, hear the stories from the original days, to see, this year having over 240 participants, we're getting people from all over the country. Last year, I want to say the funds raised last year were like $237,000. We were going into the event this year with over $200,000 raised. So, and we keep the fundraising open until June. So really hoping we're gonna, see $300,000-$400,000 come from this event, which is it's crucial.
Oh my goodness, it really is absolutely invaluable. I think an important aspect to remember about Heroes in Transition is that we do not receive any government funding. So all of our programs, all of our events are completely free to, again, our military community, and they're only free because people donate, sponsors back us, people make private contributions. We do a lot of grant writing because we are truly privately funded, because we don't take that government money. So without those fundraisers, we wouldn't be able to engage as many participants. Our vision is to always keep Heroes in Transition, we say all heart, no ego. In order to help more folks, we need to raise more dollars because we get so many requests. So it's really going to be the difference between us, obviously continuing to serve people and then serving so many more people.
The dedication from every participant and volunteer at Ruck for Hit is truly inspiring. There's more to come on Falmouth in Focus, including a gala celebrating compassionate care for seniors. So stay with us.
Hello, I'm Kathy Plazik, a volunteer for the Middle East Forum of Falmouth. Each summer, the Forum hosts world-class experts in a series of free lectures that provide our viewers with information and insights into the history and complex issues of the Middle East. Our aim is to provide a balanced program that includes differing and sometimes sharply conflicting views and information beyond that ordinarily presented in the conventional media. Each talk includes time for questions from the audience, and the lectures are presented via Zoom, so you can participate from wherever you are. Lectures are also recorded and available on YouTube and on our website, and are also seen on FCTV. We're a local nonpartisan, nonprofit, and volunteer-led organization. We hope you'll join us for these informative lectures, and please go to our website, www.meff.world, for more information. And thank you.
Welcome back. FCTV member organization Neighborhood Falmouth recently hosted their annual gala, celebrating the volunteers and supporters who help older adults live independently and stay connected. The event also premiered a video produced by FCTV highlighting their mission and impact. Let's take a look.
Right now we are sitting in our beautiful new office at 115 Palmer Avenue. We moved in last year, 2024, in May, and we're very happy to be in our new home.
With our new space, we have a nice big sign out front that's gotten to be kind of a little bit of an identifier for us. We redesigned the logo right on a corner, a very visible corner in town, no matter what. People, at the very least, have an opportunity to say, hey, who are they?
Aging in place really is a lot more than just putting grab bars in your bathroom or, things of that nature. It really is all about being prepared for the future, for your aging future.
So if I have a member call in, they are in need of someone to help them with what I like to think of as life maintenance tasks, things that you and I might take for granted day to day.
I heard a great story the other day. A brand new member was kind of nervous about calling in her first request.
My husband passed away about 6 years ago, and he built this house and took care of everything. And as I age, I'm limited in the number of things that I can do.
A brand new volunteer picked up that request.
9 o'clock, exactly, the bell rang. And he came in and he said, oh, okay, what have you got?
A little light bulb was sticking under her kitchen cabinet. She was afraid to pull it out because she didn't want it to break.
The light went pretty easily once you understood how the bulb comes out.
And then he said, do you have anything else?
She had an oven door that was kind of stuck and needed some help.
She was going to buy a new one, and I said, no need. We'll get this thing working.
So he said, let me take a look at it. Took out his pliers out of the back of his pocket, took the door off, put it back on, shut it. And then he said, do you have anything else? I said, I'm a new member and I'm not supposed to ask you to put something else. He said, well, I'm a new volunteer. So what do you have? He came in at 9 o'clock. Do you know what time he drove out of the driveway? Can you guess what time he went out of the driveway? 9:17.
I didn't know she was timing.
Our member was so tickled and just so happy that she had that wonderful experience.
Randy is my hero, and I try to get him to come. He's come back and he's done a lot of other things.
There's a relationship that is formed and that is really, really special to both the member and the volunteer.
Just a wonderful human connection that happens in that whole process.
Especially when you retire, you're kind of looking around for things to do. You end up with time on your hands. Maybe she was made for me.
Wow.
And just like the sign said, Neighborhood Falmouth is always in need of volunteers. If you have some time, you can make a big difference in a local senior's life by visiting neighborhoodfalmouth.org. And now, we head over to the gallery at FCTV, where the latest art exhibit, Cape Critters, is now on display. This whimsical collection features charming creatures of all kinds, captured through Annie's playful and vibrant style.
Hi everyone, welcome to Fox and Plover Designs Cape Critters, an exhibit by me, Annie Yaklovleva, at FCTV Gallery. It is a collection of various paintings, miscellaneous art prints, and mixed media designs that I have worked on for the past several years, which are a combination of my passion for both traditional media and digital media as well. I have been a longtime resident of Falmouth. I believe I moved here when I was entering 5th grade, so at this point it's basically been forever. I grew up in Falmouth, attended all of the Falmouth schools, and really kind of developed an understanding for what art means. Growing up in Falmouth, artwork has always just been something that I would use as an outlet, and growing up I realized that maybe I can turn it into something more. It did take me a little while to figure that out until after college, but you know, if you're passionate about something and it's part of your life, it will come back to you. And that is the case of something that happened to me. I use primarily, oh boy, I use a little bit of everything. I guess you could say I do a lot of mixed media. I do everything from watercolor illustrations to more complex creations that have watercolor mixed with acrylic medium. Additionally, I work a lot in digital illustration as I am a graphic designer. Currently, I am working at Kaleidoscope Imprints, which used to also be which also was Howling Bird Studio at the time that I began my graphic design career. And that really was a good starting point for me to start developing those skills. What inspires me is movement and energy and just life in general. There's so much movement and life happening on Cape Cod other than just tourists. There's critters in the air, critters in the water, in our ponds, just anywhere you look, you can see something moving. And I find that to be just a really wonderful thing, a really wonderful part of life. So a lot of my paintings and illustrations really focus on bringing together movement and life, because I want to kind of create more than just an image. I want to create something that makes you feel something.
That's going to wrap up this edition of Falmouth in Focus. Thanks for joining me. We'll leave you now with sights and sounds from this year's Daffodil Days celebration. Until next time, we'll see you around town.